Alright lads, welcome aboard. My name is Arnold Dinosaur. Oda is a mad lad. Oda is a mad lad. He has broken our ankles once again with the introduction of the new Shanks evil twin character in the Gods Knights. So many people in the community, including myself, have already theorized that Shanks might have a twin clone. So now let's explore what that means if Shanks has a clone, right? So looking back at the God Valley flashback, we saw that Shanks was dressed in star and moon themed pajamas. Now I wonder if there was another baby, maybe in another chest, or maybe Garling had two sons, because his promotion to being a Gorosei, we're guessing that he's obviously going to get new powers, right? He's going to have his own transformation, and one that I've been seeing very popular around the community is the Fenrir transformation, the giant Nordic wolf from Nordic mythology that Emu might have given him, so he might have that transformation, right? And in Norse mythology, the wolf Fenrir has two sons, Skoll and Hati, who are two giant wolves and the offspring of Fenrir and the giant, I'm gonna butcher this so bad, Linevidia. Yeah, don't. Okay. Skoll is said to chase the sun, and Heidi is said to chase the moon. So I'm wondering if in God Valley there was another chest, or there was another twin, Shanks twin, that also had matching pajamas. And in this scenario, we know that the Skoll that chases the sun is Shanks, and Hati that chases the moon is Stabs. We're gonna go with Stabs, the new Shanks replica. And they say that when these two wolves finally catch their celestial prey, it'll spark the beginning of the end of the world, Ragnarok, which we know is Loki's end game. Also, looking again at Whitebeard, when Shanks went to talk to him about Blackbeard, things like that, he said that when he looked at Shanks's face, it reminded him of him. I wonder, who is him? So I'm in the position that he's most likely referring to Garling, since they had their legendary fight on God Valley, and I don't think baby the Stabs would have been powerful enough to clash with Whitebeard. But anyways, yeah, this development is very interesting, as it has opened deep can of worms, and it's making me think, if this maybe is a clone, if this is a clone and not a twin, maybe Garling just had that one son and they cloned him. Does this mean the government could also clone the other Yonkos? Say for example S-Dragon for Kaido, because remember, they do have Kaido's DNA from experimenting and Vegapunk wanting to replicate his dragon fruit. He successfully did, except it was just pink, and Momonosuke ate it, right? And him from Kaido just constantly getting captured by the Marines to just get food and live by. Looking again at Mary Joie incident, the way the elders were mostly unbothered by Shanks look-alike when he pulled up into the holy room, it makes sense now. Right? Jupiter even had his back turned, and that time I was like, that's crazy. He has his back turned to an emperor. First of all, how are they not panicking that an emperor, Shanks of all emperors, just casually pulled up to Marie Joie? And maybe they had some secret meeting, but it was always something very suspicious going on there, right? And so now that I understand with the context that I have, it's obvious that yeah, they weren't speaking with red-haired Shanks, but rather the Holy Knight who was on their side. So they had no need to be in shambles, distressed like that. They were like, oh, it's just Garlink's kid. What does he want, right? And when Dragon was speaking about the Holy Knights and he gave us the silhouettes, they seem to also be wearing those dark robes, except their hoodies are down, and they have the distinct head shapes and body shapes, and things like that. This is very interesting, as it makes me wonder how Shanks feels about this. Does Shanks know that he has another lookalike going around the world doing things? And does he know of his Figureland heritage? And him being a celestial dragon, as it was teased in Film Red, that he's part of the Figureland family. I want you to remember that he was adopted by Goldie Roger when he was very young. They found him in the chest when he was still a baby, and unless he searched like for answers himself about his heritage, because I believe he would do that, right? He would be like, who are my actual parents, if he knew that Goldie Roger wasn't his dad, right? So unless he searched for the answers himself, I don't see the rest of the other Roger pirates telling him that he's a celestial dragon and who his father may have been or who may be, right? This is a fun possibility, but I wonder if they've ever like, if they ever made contact, if they've ever done the switching position, the trope that twins be doing sometimes, since most people wouldn't be able to easily tell them apart, so they can just switch positions, switch outcomes and positions. Yeah, and now it also brings into consideration how this implicates Loki, because we don't know if Loki thinks Shanks is a coward because of his interaction with Stabs. So many questions. Maybe I have a theory that it might have not been Loki that killed King Harold, right? Luffy was vibing with him the entire time they met. He wasn't very defensive. He wasn't scared. He just noticed his presence when they first came. But Loki and Luffy do have similar traits. They have the sun god shenanigans going for them. Luffy's funny gag of calling people by their wrong names. Luffy and Loki both taming giant animals. Luffy when he was training with Rayleigh, and then Loki in the underworld of Elbaf. So I believe it may have been Stabs that killed King Harold because Imu ordered the Holy Knights to do so, and then Loki was framed for it. I think he will be someone that will work with us eventually when things get cleared up. But for the moment that he gets released, like Luffy will release him, it's going to happen, right? When you freeze him, it's definitely going to be a very big thing. When Loki is no longer chained up, everybody's going to be like, this is the worst possible thing that could have happened, and Luffy might be branded as the enemy until all the misunderstandings get cleared up, right? And yeah, Luffy, our boy Luffy, Shanks and Luffy, man. This duo, their friendship, their student mentor relationship. How does Luffy feel about someone just going around doing things looking identical to Shanks? Because mind you, remember, Loki called Shanks a coward, and this guy Luffy almost took off this man's head with his partial gear 4th attack. This guy Loki had to duck out of the way to not receive the blow. And I'm here for it, man. I'm all here for it. So I'm very excited that this development of the Holy Knights has happened. And I mean, Oda, he can do a lot of things with this. He can do a lot with this. So Oda can give us a real fight between Shanks and Luffy without having the repercussions of, say, someone dying or somebody being defeated, because it's not going to be really Shanks like the Shanks that gave him the straw hat. It's going to be a different Shanks. So in that regard, we could have an actual full, no holding back, full powered Luffy versus Shanks fight. That is considering if Stabs has Conqueror's Haki, because without that, Luffy is no match for them. Yeah, so the fight that is expected between Luffy and Shanks when they meet up isn't really going to be one of hatred and anger. It'll mostly be a friend duel for Shanks to maybe gauge how strong Luffy has become and acknowledging him as a great pirate as himself, and maybe to return the Straw Hat. I think though, another point I wanted to mention is I don't think Luffy will give the Straw Hat back to Shanks. He'll keep it going forward. He's now fully carrying the will of Roger, Joy Boy, the people that came before him. He's the new Joy Boy, and he's known all around the world through that accessory alone, through his Straw Hat. So I don't think they'll be parting ways anytime soon. They're permanently stuck together, right? Yeah, this is very exciting news for the community. It's a great time to be a One Piece fan. Oh my goodness, all these theories finally coming true, getting closer to the end. It's tragic, but it's beautiful. The Holy Knights being here, them pulling up to Big Stein Castle. Somebody might be playing both sides on the Elbaf Island and telling them, leaking information about the castle being empty at the time for them to be able to spawn in there very quietly. Because whatever they came here to do, it seems they're here to do it very discreetly. They have their hoods up. They only came 2 of them. It seems to be a very in and out, quick type of operation, right? And maybe they're here to kill Luffy. Maybe they're here to destroy the Owl Library that contains all the books of Ohara, because Imu doesn't want anyone learning anything that they shouldn't. And yeah, but it would be insane if Imu were to call another Buster Call. This would be, what is it, Robin's 4th Buster Call that she would survive. Imagine being the only person in the world to have survived 4 Buster Calls. Legendary stuff, man. Legendary stuff. Yeah, Robin would have been sick of this. Terrible memories. So many questions, so many new developments. It's looking very exciting. One Piece is looking bright. Maybe what they came to do they have business in the Heaven Realm, because we haven't been there yet. We've just been in the Middle Realm and the Frozen Hell where Loki is bound. So maybe the Holy Knights are here and they have business upstairs, as we'd say. But thank you, lads, for tuning in. That's all I have for you guys. I'm very excited. We'll see how the story turns out. Like and subscribe. Comment what you think down below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you lads soon.